Hi, I'm Sarah Vollmar, and this is my audition video to become a Redken artist. First of all, let's talk about me. I have been a stylist for 10 plus years. I have two wonderful daughters, one who is going on 5 years old who already gives me fashion advice, and then a daughter who is also 9 months old. I enjoy hiking. I love getting out. I get inspired by nature, all the colors, and I just simply love people. I love the power of hair. I love the confidence you can give people. It's transformative, and you can change someone's life with a haircut. And you know, as a child, I grew up and I had those awkward middle school phases where I didn't feel pretty, and then I learned about eyeliner and highlights, and you know, then created the passion, because you can transform someone's life. You can boost their confidence and give them something that they may not be able to see themselves, but you can see it, and through your vision you can help someone to have a better life and to feel better about themselves. And when you feel better about yourself, you have more confidence. Why Redken? I am education obsessed. It's everything to me. Learning. I've always wanted to be a hairstylist ever since I was a little girl, and I had doubts, and I didn't start until I was around 27 years old when I went to beauty school. And when I got out of the industry, I was very insecure. I went from being in the office where they were saying, you know, you need to advise your clients better, you need to stop asking for advice, you need to stop asking for formulas. Well, I took it upon myself, and I saved all my money, and I went to the Redken Exchange in New York, and I transformed. And the power that I learned from the knowledge transformed my career. I went from being the bottom on the scheduling order to the top of the scheduling order. In fact, to getting voted best hairstylist in my town, which is not a very big town, but it's a big deal to me. And I feel like knowledge is power. A wise man once said, knowledge is power, but knowledge shared is power multiplied. And there's power in numbers. There's power in educating other people and helping them to become the best person they can. Redken is principle-based in their styling and their scientific method to get predictable outcomes, to give you predictable success with hair, but also their predictable outcomes when you follow their certification programs, to where you can predict success if you follow the rules. I was recently told by someone that everybody is born with the same amount of intelligence. Some people just have to work longer and harder at things. And I believe that. I believe that everybody with the keys to success and education can be a successful hairstylist. They don't have to feel insecure. I feel like I was born to be a mentor and an educator. I'm so passionate about knowledge and learning. I feel like knowledge is limitless. You're always learning, you're always getting better, you're always growing. And I want to share that with people. I want to share the mistakes that I made and help people to learn from them. I want to give them advice and show them how to do things, the tricks, the tips, blonding, down to everything. Even lighting and photos is so important, everything. I just have so much I want to share to the world and help others. So what I'm going to be showing you guys today is how to do a money piece on difficult hairlines. For example, money pieces are very in right now, but sometimes I think we don't have enough education on how to do a money piece on a difficult hairline or a widow's peak. This can be done on any type of hairline. It's kind of like my foolproof method on how to get a successful money piece. But first, let's start on how to prep the hair, because we want to set ourselves up for success. So we prep the mannequin with pre-art and cat or cysteic acid treatment. I went ahead and did pre-art on her hair while it was damp, did it for 5 minutes. And just like you don't get into the shower with your clothes on, you don't do the cat without your detox. So we did the pre-art for 5 minutes, and then we came on top of the mannequin head and did the detox right on top of it, not sudsing, and left it on for 5 minutes and then rinsed it. Now, because this mannequin has been previously processed, we want to even out her porosity. So again, we have more, and also to strengthen the hair, so we have more success when we go through and lighten the hair. So we did the cysteic acid treatment for 5 minutes after we did rinsed out the cat. And we do that because you want to have an even canvas, you want to even out your porosity, but also hair is 70-80% protein. And you want to put back in what is taken out when you lighten the hair to ensure that it has the maximum strength and elasticity to keep it from breaking before you process it. We want to do the pre-art on top of that because we want to get out any residual minerals, iron, copper, product residue. So the lightener has its full force, it has its full power to get through the hair and to decolorize it to the pale yellow that we would like with this mannequin head. There's a big misnomer in our industry, and a lot of clients come into me and say, oh, I didn't wash my hair. And so we want to educate our clients, you know, to make sure that their hair is primed properly to have successful color. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the application of it. And I have a graph here showing the formation. It's my favorite technique for a money piece. I think it has the softest, most natural look to it. Again, you can customize it and you can add more sections if you'd like to make it more impactful. You can take away the 2 middle slices if you'd like, if you want a softer money piece. It all is actually dependent on the hairline, and you want to read the hairline. So if you want more of a natural hairline, you take your comb at the base of the hairline, and wherever that comb falls away from the hair, that's usually where my stop point is, to where you'll have the most natural and blended looking money piece. But if you want to go beyond that, you can. If you want more of a chunky money piece, it is a newer look now, and you can go above where the head starts to round out. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to split this in 2, and we're going to come and along the hairline we're going to do a micro slice, and we're actually going to do a micro weave along the hairline. What you want to do is you want to get the smallest amount of baby hair that you possibly can along that hairline. Bring at a diagonal forward angle following the natural hairline. What I'm using right now is Flash Lift Bonder Inside with 10 volume. And the reason I chose the Bonder Inside is because the hairline, in most cases in people, is a lot finer and weaker along the hairline. You want to take that in account when you're mixing up your lightener. You don't want to use as harsh of a lightener, a heavy lightener. And I have found with the micro slices, because you're taking such small sections of that process is so much faster. And so it has the bond builder inside of it to keep those bond builders and keep the integrity of the hair as strong as possible. I like to use the smaller Redken brush because I feel like I have more control and detail along the hairline. Just gonna get this out of the way. You can clip that if you like. We're just gonna go through here and do a micro stitch. I think the key to really successful foils along the hairline is tension. I like to fold the foil over my comb to give me that nice clean line and get it right up into the hair. Now you see I have really tight tension on that hair. That is so important to give you a successful foil along the hairline. So I'm keeping that tension. I'm gonna load my brush and I'm gonna go below the hairline, apply right there and feather my way up. That way that it keeps you from getting bleeding. It gives you more accuracy. Okay, I still have my tension. It's really, really important because that's how you're going to keep the control. Change my position of my brush to vertical from horizontal. I'm going to cleanly feather that product up to the hairline. Okay, keeping my tension, keeping my tension. Now that should lock into place. I'm gonna go ahead and place my hand under the foil, hold it, and then paint the rest of my. Trying not to lift my foil too high up into elevation to keep it from sliding. I'm going to go ahead and come back over, put my 2 fingers along there to hold it, to grip it, to just get that to lay really, really nicely and smoothly. I want to get a lot more saturation till I can't see that hair, because saturation means even lift. So now I'm going to do a double fold, 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 and then we're going to lock this baby. We're going to pull her up, check her from underneath. If we need to make sure she's on there nice and perfect, we can fold her again and go to our next section. And our next section will be a slice. You want baby hairs in this because we want to get maximum lightness along that hairline. So again, you're going to go through with the tiniest slice you possibly can. If you think your section's too thick, it probably is. This is a micro stitch and we want to go as small as we possibly can to ensure that you have even lift and that this looks the most like the sun naturally hit that hairline. Okay, again, got my hair, get my foil, hold it down, and we're gonna get my tension. Get that puppy right up to that hairline so you've got perfect even tension. Load my brush, coming 1.5 inches, 2 inches away, paint to lock down my foil. I'm going to flip to vertical. Get that foil nice and perfect in there. Again, this brush is killer to get that close foil. Lift this baby up. Really try to get that foil as flat as you possibly can along there, because every little detail counts in these little precision detail foils. And this is honestly, when I'm doing a look like this is where I take the most time in detail. Everything's got to be 100% perfect, because this is where the person sees. It's good to me. Now, I prefer, so I want her to be a little more impactful as well. I prefer to do a double slice. You don't have to. If you want to play it safe, you can do 3. The rule of thumb is 3. I like to go through with another slice. But my slices are a bit thin. Again, I think tension is so key to so many things. Tension is so important with a 20-piece hairline for details. Your angling really depends on your hairline as well. You know, you want to come along the hairline, if the hairline slopes back more, you want to come back to the hairline. Your angle mimics the hairline. Okay, so this is where the money's at. We got our 3rd one in, okay? This is kind of like the icing on the cake. Again, we're gonna check that bad boy. This is where I do another stitch to blend it out. I always feel like you blend in and then you blend out. That's how you get that softness along that money piece. If you want a chunkier money piece, don't blend it out. I want to go for a more natural sun-kissed, the sun naturally lighten the hair money piece. So again, I'm going to take my section out and then I'm going to do another stitch. Wouldn't quite do a micro stitch on this. It's like kind of like in between a micro stitch. Again, come back over. Boom, got my tension. Remember, try not to lift that foil over 45 degrees because again, that's where you can cause it to slip. Make sure that puppy is really saturated. If you feel like you can't get a money piece either, just remember, practice makes perfect. It may take you 4 hours of trying over and over again to get it right on a mannequin head, but that's what creates success. I'm not gonna go as fully saturated along here either. I wanna get it saturated enough to get a nice lift, but I'm not gonna go complete full saturation up along there because I still want that to be softer. Okay, and so then you just repeat on the other side. Same pattern. Now, we're gonna come to the middle. And again, you're gonna follow the same pattern. Micro stitch, slice, slice, micro stitch in the middle. And that's how you get along when you're doing a widow's peak. You wanna come and you wanna mimic the widow's peak as well so you can get they really have a point, a real fine point. I actually treat the point indifferent itself, and I go through and I do a very, very, very tiny, tiny, tiny little stitch along there. And I get into that widow's peak. And I do a micro stitch along the hairline with the widow's peak. You can start there if you'd like, if you want to have more accuracy. So continuing the money piece onto the other side of the hair, again, what you're gonna do along the hairline is, again, you're gonna take your super small, extremely thin micro stitch of the hair along the hairline using flash lift, bonder inside, 10 volume, again, to keep the integrity of the hair intact, where the hair is finer and sparser. And playing to your volumizers and to your lighteners along the head of hair really is a key to successful lightening into the new money piece. So a lot of the times I have found in the foilage looks that I've gone and I've done the tease and weave technique and it's just melted away. I don't see it, I don't have enough impact. But then when I go and try to get more impact and give it, it looks too unblended and textured. So I came up with an idea of how to give the hair a blended, impactful look. So you want to end up on your hairline and you want to pivot with the natural shape of the head. So as you come up along the hairline, you're going to pivot up to the occipital, and then along this, you're going to move with the shape of the head. So you're going to kind of follow the round of the head in double panel sections. I'm going to start to show you how to do this technique like you're ending on the top of the head. So what you're going to do is you're going to take about a 1/4 inch section and you're going to weave through it, but you're going to weave in almost a rhythm. I want to have that tension right here. So when I'm weaving, so then you're going to come up and it's almost like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, up and down, 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 down to where you're weaving the section. When you pull apart, you have a nice section. So then we're going to lightly surface tease up to the top, but not tease too much to where we can't uncomb that hair, okay? So maintaining your section, you're going to take your foil, and we did the long foils here. You can use the fancy foils, the Vollmar ones. For budget's sake, we're just going to use the good old regular Reynolds because I think they work just as well. Again, I've got really good tension on that. See that I'm kind of anchoring in my pinky? I've got it looped through my hair. That is so important for your outcome of your teasy lights, okay? So again, I've switched my brushes. I've gone to a longer brush. And what you want to do is I switched my lighteners as well because this is a thicker section no matter what. You do want to maintain and you want to be able to read through the newspaper of your section. but also it is not a micro stitch like the hairline. So I have bumped up to flash lift bonder inside and 30 volume because I want to match the lift of the hairline again. So I'm going to charge my brush, come along, and again, I want to start way down here. And so this is customizable. You can even go horizontal if you want. As long as you feather it up, you're fine. Again, you can go slanted if you'd like. Another key too is at least you want to back away with your lightener at least an inch away, ½ inch away from that money piece for that little pocket of depth there. That's super, super important, that little pocket of depth. So we're gonna go ahead and paint on. Start halfway, really get that saturated. And then we're gonna feather it up. And I'm gonna do it at an angle because I want it a little softer along here and I wanna follow that natural head shape going back. Again, kicking my brush vertical to get that nice soft paint. If you feel like you're not getting good enough saturation, you can use your comb. Comb that lightener through to get even saturation. Saturation equals lift. I'm gonna let go of my tension. I can piggyback a foil on there if I want, again, because you will be opening it up and checking these, or you can paint your tail up. I'm going to, just for accuracy's sake, I'm going to paint all the way down to the strand of that hair, just so that there's no crinkles and folds. Sure that's really saturated. Again, if you've got to go through with your comb and check, make sure the sections are nice and saturated, do it, because that's going to set up your success for your foils, because you don't want to go back through and have to check them again. Going to lay this on top of both my corners. Okay, now I'm going to come underneath, take another slice. But again, you got that beautiful blended texture. And just surface tease it up. Okay. And again, I'm gonna come underneath with my board. The board gives you the precision of the painting, sets you up for success, sets you up for even painting. So I'm gonna fold that over. Now here's what's really cool, what you can do with your underneath. Is you can leave a little depth, so you can come in a V this way to leave a little depth to also make the top pop. Come lower from underneath. I really like to feather up, flick my brush up, because that helps to give you another blend as well. And again, we're gonna do a V underneath. So again, we want to leave a little of that depth to make it pop. You can go all the way up if you really want a sheer panel. If you really want an opaque panel to help to make more color in panels. So what I used to prime the mannequin, to use the heat styling on her, is the Acidic Perfecting Concentrate. This is my new favorite. It has the citric acid, which is an alpha hydroxy, which helps to reinforce those weakened bonds. The disulfide bonds can be broken from excessive heat use. It also has intense conditioning. It helps to add shine and reduce frizz, which is really important for your pictures. This is key to getting those great Instagram pictures. So also the pH balance helps defend again hair coloring, heat damage, and actually the negative effects of water, especially if you have hard water where you live, where we actually do have very hard water. So it's a really important product to use. Okay, so what we did was we went through and we curled the hair in 0-degree elevation sections in the bottom to create length. What we're gonna do now is go more horizontal and 90-degree placement to create the most volume on the money piece. So you want to heat your section up with your tool. We did triangular sections along that way. So what we're going to do is heat that section up and bring her up at 90 degrees. And still the section is within the diameter of the curling iron. I'm going to bring it back. Really love this extra long curling iron. It's really great for all the long haired girls. Again, we're just twisting. And at this point, you want to twist out your section. Again, twist. Just twist, and then you want to drop back down, smooth out those ends. So once you go ahead and get all your curls in your mannequin head, what you want to do is let them set for at least 20 to 30 seconds to cool in their form before you brush them out. What I'm going to be using today is the Triple Dry. It's a dry texture finishing spray, and it's one of my favorites. What's so cool about it and what it sets it aside is it's got a tri-actuator. It's a triple mist technology. So what it does is it diffuses the mist in 3 different sections to give you that lived-in feel and no heavy residue. So what you're gonna do is actually you're gonna measure with your can 6 to 12 inches away from the head, and that is how far you're supposed to wait. I work from the bottom up with this section, and then pulse as I go. So what we're gonna do first though, is we're going to tilt the mannequin head, tilt your head back, and you're gonna go along. I'm using the Olivia Garden styling brush. It's a smoothing brush. It's great for smoothing and shining and combing out your curl sets. But also help to maintain the shine in the hair. It's just my favorite brush lately that I've been using. So I'm gonna go in, I'm going to take vertical sections to brush out those curls. And then working in pulses and from the bottom up, I'm going to pulse my product on 6 to 12 inches away. You can actually spray it into your hands, work it into your hands. If you want less in the hair, work it into the hair that way. Kind of tease up your sections. Work up that money piece. Hot tip with your picture taking with Instagram is with your blondes, there's a factor in your photos that I just learned about, direct and indirect sunlight. Well, you're in direct sunlight, so what this is going to do is this is going to expose the most warmth in your blondes. I don't advise that, but if you want someone who wants a warmer look, you can, but it can actually make your blonde look very yellow, okay? So now we're going to step over here into indirect sunlight. You're going to see a much cooler, more refined result on your blonde. Just a hot tip out there for all your Instagram photo takers. This has really helped me with my blonding photography. All right, so these are what I recommend for her to come home with. This is the Extreme Cat, which stands for Cysteic Acid Treatment. And during the lightening process, the hair can produce cysteic acid. Hair is made up of 70-80% of protein. That accounts for a lot of the strength and elasticity of the hair. So what you take out, you must put back in. So I would send this home with my client to make sure she maintains even porosity to give her hair shine and strength in between her colors. This is an absolute must. You do it once a week. I say you sandwich it between your shampoo and conditioner. So what you're gonna do, shampoo your hair, rinse out your shampoo, spray this in, leave it in for 3 to 5 minutes, make sure you rinse it out. I also will be sending her home with my absolute favorite is the Acidic Bonding Shampoo and Conditioner. Again, it's got the citric acid, which is the alpha hydroxy, that's going to help to reinforce those weakened bonds. It's got the pH balance formula that's going to protect her hair against heat damage, water even, and from coloring. And that's what I would say, but also not forget, because of the pH formula, it's going to give her intense shine. So when people stop her on the street and tell her how beautiful her hair is, she will tell them to get the Acidic Bonding Concentrate, the best shampoo and conditioner on the market. All right, in closing, I just want to say that I hope you can see my passion in hair and my career. And I want to share that passion with everybody. I want Redken to inspire me. I want to be uplifted even more and challenged as a stylist and a mentor. So hopefully that you'll consider to add me to your team, because I would love for it. It's my dream. And also just to have fun. All right, cheers.